In my fight for justice, I keep referring to the March 20, 2019 public testimony before South Carolina House of Representatives Oversight Committee. I wanted to create a public record of what transpired with me regarding bar from applying, does not meet minimum qualification, and nepotism. So on March 20, 2019, I provided the committee members a handwritten letter, and I just declared that state agencies of South Carolina participate in conspiracy to harm, corruption, cover up, and deny justice to minorities in this state, which is a fact. As I go forward, I can provide additional evidence and documents regarding my situation. For those of you who may be frustrated with my fight for justice, you need to know several things. What happened, happened to me. How I choose to fight against injustice that happened to me, that's up to me. But you do have options. You either get in or you can get out. But in either way, you will not hinder my fight. I just want to clear that up just in case someone may have a problem with it. Now, in 2017, I reached out to the South Carolina Office of Inspector General regarding my situation. Brian Lampkin was the director at that time, and he sent me a letter on December 19, 2017, regarding bar from applying. He stated that bar from applying is a system error. That's a fraudulent statement, because that stated NeoGov has stated to me in writing in 2019 that bar from applying is a feature of the product, not a system error. But these individuals in the state of South Carolina would do anything possible to cover up for themselves and cover up others just like them. And when the South Carolina Inspector General, who's supposed to be an independent body, also sided with corruption as well. So when I declare that the state of corruption and conspiracy run deep in the state of South Carolina, that's a fact. Now, in August of 2019, I received another letter from Mr. Lampkins. And this is regarding the information that I received from NeoGov, which stated that bar from applying is not a system error, but a feature of the product. Some information at the bottom has been intentionally blocked by me because it's just weeds. Sometimes we get in the weeds and we don't focus on the things that need to be focused on. And so it was not needed. But here's a letter from Mr. Lampkin dated August the 7th, 2019. But you need to pay attention to what's on page 2 at question number 4 and some additional information. He stated the use of the term nepotism is a NeoGov term, not an SCDA, DSHR term. NeoGov uses this term to reflect relatives an applicant may have in state government employment. However, SCDA, DSHR is looking into the use of this term by NeoGov. NeoGov also, in 2019 writing, has disputed this claim that nepotism was applied by them. They have also stated that they have no control over the user of their product and how they choose to use it. And here again, Mr. Lampkin is stating that bar from applying is a system error, which it is not. It was intentionally applied to my master applicant profile from July 19, 2013, not to expire to December 30, 2018. That's 5.5 years. That's an intentional act to harm. But let's go back up to number 4. Mr. Lampkin stated that nepotism reflects an applicant who may have relatives that have employment in state government. That's not even the definition for nepotism. Nepotism applies to if you were hired by a relative, or either you were being supervised by a relative. And then to be involved in nepotism in the state of South Carolina is illegal under the laws of this state. So he didn't even understand the level of nepotism, but this is what they would do in order to validate an unlawful claim, an unlawful act by those who will do anything to harm. Now, in a phone interview with Mr. Lampkin, I'm not sure whether he's black or white. I've been told that he's white, but I have no knowledge of that. He would ask me about my situation. Then when I would go to answer the question, he would say, "Oh, you were talking to me. Oh, you being rude. You being disrespectful." No. What he was doing something that many white people have done to black people for many years. They will ask you a question, but declare that you are being rude when you go to answer the question because they don't want to answer the question. They want to make you out to be a monster. So what he did was deplorable. It's not a new game in town. But one thing about many black people now will do the same thing that white people have done to black people. And so this is what he did. And then by me having prior work experience in customer service, your ears become very sensitive to when someone is on your line listening. You can hear when they come on, you can hear when they get off. So when Mr. Lampkin was saying that I was being rude and disrespectful, he wanted to get it on recording. And then you hear them hit the stop button. But the more he was declaring that I was being rude and disrespectful, I was declaring to him that I was not. I was only trying to answer the question that he presented to me, and he was not allowing me the opportunity to answer the question. But this is what we have become. We are very deceptive. We are very corrupt. And we'll do anything to harm. And that's what Mr. Lampkin did to me. But in your upcoming video, you're going to receive evidence from NeoGov, which has made every agency in the state of South Carolina to be a liar, to be corrupt, to be unlawful, committed civil rights violations, and participating in a criminal conspiracy when covering up those civil rights violations. Now remember I told you that NeoGov has stated that barred from applying is not a system error but a feature. If you look on your screen, you're going to say barred from applying. It has no. That's because it has been changed. And we don't know when that change took place or this is from the original profile. But anyhow, the main thing you need to focus on is barred from applying. This is how you know it was not a system error. It's the feature of the product. So NeoGov was right. So when State of South Carolina told me and told potential employers that NeoGov did this and it was a system error, that was fraudulent, that was a deliberate, and that was an intentional act to harm. Now there's some additional evidence on this page. It has been blocked out by me because it's personal information and it's not needed. But as again, I want to focus on barred from applying as a feature of the product. And you need to know also, South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce and in the private industry who use this system in order to find applicants. Anyone can go into the system and flag your master applicant profile in a negative way, and you will have no way to know about it. And it will harm your chances of obtaining employment. I was very blessed. I'm grateful to God who allowed me to receive this evidence. But it was not because I sit down my behind and I prayed and I talked about it. I fought for my rights. I fought for justice. And this is how I obtained these documents. Now, the corruption level went so far, it even went so far up to the EOC in Washington, D.C. Office Field Program. I'm going to provide evidence on that too in writing. Now, my fight for justice go way beyond me, but I'm determined to fight it to the very end, and then it will be well with my soul. To the United States Department of Justice, I'm requesting here again, based on public record and evidence, that an investigation be done on the state of South Carolina, South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce, South Carolina Human Affairs, the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Greenville, the Charlotte Regional Office, and the Washington, D.C. program under Martin Ebell be investigated for civil rights violation, which has now turned into a criminal conspiracy because of the cover-up to deny those civil rights violations. As I stated before, justice is still required. I am the only one that has been harmed.